Hi Reddit. I'm Jordan. I'm 35 now, but this happened when I was around 27. And trust me, whatever you think betrayal looks like, you're not even close. I used to believe I knew what it felt like to be the afterthought, to be the second choice. Turns out, I had no idea how deep that knife could go. Back then, I was engaged to the only woman who ever made me feel like I actually mattered. Life hadn't been easy for us. Layoffs, hospital scares, money problems, but somehow we made it work. When I asked her to marry me, I made one decision early. No fake smiles, no forced family invites. Just people who gave a damn. That meant not inviting my parents. And definitely not inviting my younger sister, Leah. Not because of one big fight. Not because we were estranged. But because my whole life, everything was always about Leah. My birthdays? Leah's asthma acted up, we can't make it. My football finals? Leah's having a bad episode. Graduating college? They didn't even show. I got a voicemail after the ceremony. So sorry. Honey, Leah had another bad day. We're proud of you, though. And I believe them. I swallowed it all. I kept telling myself, she's sick. They're doing what they have to do. You probably would have thought the same. Fast forward to wedding planning. My fiancé asked me straight up, Jordan, you sure you can live with not inviting them? I said yes. I was done making excuses for people who never showed up for me. I didn't send a save the date. No invite. Nothing. And let me tell you, it was like lighting a fuse under a powder keg. Mom left me crying voicemails. Dad sent messages dripping with guilt. Leah emailed me entire essays. You're destroying this family. But I didn't cave. The wedding day? Perfect. Small, intimate, no drama, no stage family moments ruining it. You're probably thinking, good for you, Jordan. Oh, just wait. You have no idea how wrong I was. About 3 months later, I ran into Leah's ex-boyfriend, Ryan, at this grimy little dive bar. We barely recognized each other. Shared a couple of beers, swapped some stories. Then, halfway through his third drink, Ryan leans in and says, Man, I still can't believe how Leah fooled everyone all those years. I stared at him, thinking he was just bitter. But he wasn't joking. He opened his phone, showed me texts, screenshots, even videos. Leah laughing about faking symptoms, studying medical sites to upgrade her fake illnesses, bragging about how easy it was to get mom and dad wrapped around her finger. I just sat there frozen, feeling like someone kicked the ground out from under me. Everything I'd excused, every birthday missed, every game, every graduation, gone. For nothing that I left the bar that night shaking. Drove home like a zombie, barely remembering the streets. My wife was asleep when I got in. I just stood there, staring at her, thinking, how the hell do I even start explaining this? Next morning, I told her everything. The bar, Ryan, the texts. She listened without interrupting once, then just said, Jordan, you need to find out the truth for yourself. So that's what I did. I didn't confront my parents right away. I didn't blow up Leah's phone. No, I started small, quiet, careful. I dug. First, I called an old neighbor, Mrs. Reynolds. She lived across the street from us when I was growing up. Nosy as hell, but honest. I asked, hey, did you ever notice anything weird about Leah's illnesses? She didn't even hesitate. Oh, honey, we all knew she was a little drama queen. Poor thing, your parents were too blinded to see it. She told me how Leah would ride her bike for hours when my parents were at work, completely fine. How she'd fake coughing fits whenever Dad's car pulled into the driveway. How once she ran a full mile chasing an ice cream truck, but 2 hours later Mom rushed her to the ER because Leah said she couldn't breathe. I hung up feeling sick. Next, I dug through my old emails. There were tons from my parents about canceling on me. Always the same lines. Leah isn't doing well. Leah had an episode. Leah needs us. But now I noticed something else. Leah's Instagram posts from the same dates. Posts of her at parties, at concerts, traveling. And you're probably thinking, Jordan, maybe it wasn't that serious. Maybe she just had good days. I want to believe that too. I wanted to find something, anything, that proved Ryan was just exaggerating. But no, the more I looked, the worse it got. A few days later, I decided to test the waters. I called my mom, casual-like, told her I missed them, asked how Leah was doing. Mom immediately launched into how Leah was still struggling how exhausting it was. She sounded tired, drained. I almost felt bad until I opened Leah's Snapchat story while we were talking, and there she was, doing shots at some rooftop party, laughing her ass off. Right there, live. I felt the rage bubbling up in my throat. But I stayed calm. I said goodbye to Mom, hung up, and just sat there staring at the wall. They really had no idea. They were still running themselves into the ground for her, still choosing her over me, still blind. And it hit me. If I wanted answers, if I wanted real closure, I had to hear it from Leah herself. No third parties, no rumors. I had to force the truth out of her, face to face. I didn't just storm over to Leah's place. No yelling, no drama. I wanted her off guard. I texted her, "Hey, can we grab coffee sometime? Just us." 5 minutes later, she replied, "Of course. Been wanting to talk anyway." Funny, she had no clue what was coming. We met at this tiny coffee shop downtown, one of those hipster places with bad music and overpriced lattes. She walked in smiling, arms wide like we were some sitcom siblings who always had each other's backs. "Jordan, God, I've missed you." I didn't hug her. I just nodded, sat down, watched her order a massive frappuccino with extra caramel. Funny, for someone who supposedly had a million health problems. We made small talk for a bit. I let her feel comfortable. Then I dropped it. "So, Leah, you ever feel guilty? You know, about everything you put Mom and Dad through?" Her face froze for a split second. It was so fast you'd miss it if you weren't looking. But I was. "What do you mean?" she asked, laughing nervously. I leaned in. "You know what I mean. All those fake ER trips. All the panic attacks you staged. All the birthdays you ruined. You played them like puppets, didn't you?" Silence. Her straw squeaked against the cup as she shifted in her seat. "Jordan, that's not fair," she said, voice all wounded. "You have no idea what it's like living with real anxiety." "Cut the crap, Leah," I snapped. "I've seen the texts, the videos. I know everything." Her mouth opened, closed. She blinked hard, swallowed, then, and I'll never forget this, she actually smiled. A tiny, nasty smile, like she was relieved. "Fine," she said. "So what? Everyone lies sometimes. Everyone needs attention." I stared at her. "Everyone lies? You don't get it, Jordan. You were always the golden boy. Mr. Perfect. Mr. Independent. I had to compete. I had to survive somehow." I almost laughed. Not because it was funny, because it was so goddamn insane. I was the one left standing alone at games. Alone at birthdays. Alone at my graduation. And she thought I was the favorite? "You destroyed our family," I said quietly. She shrugged. "They were happy taking care of me. It made them feel needed. You didn't need them. So yeah, they chose me. Big deal." I stood up. I didn't even touch my coffee. "You're sick," I said, but not in the way they thought. She didn't chase after me. She just stayed there, sipping her overpriced drink like nothing happened. Walking out of that shop, I realized something worse than all the lies, worse than all the years lost. Leah didn't regret a damn thing, and she never would. But that wasn't the end, Reddit. Not even close. Because after that meeting, things escalated way faster than I ever imagined. I thought after that coffee shop disaster, things would cool down. Maybe Leah would back off. Maybe my parents would finally start seeing the truth. Yeah, right? 2 days later, it started. First, my mom called, crying so hard I could barely understand her. "Jordan, what did you say to Leah? She's devastated. She's having panic attacks again. She can't sleep. She says you threatened her." "Threatened her?" I sat there, phone pressed to my ear, heart hammering, realizing Leah had already spun her own damn version of the story. She beat me to it, painted herself as the victim. Again, I tried to explain. I told Mom about the messages, the proof, everything. But it didn't matter. She didn't listen. She didn't even want to listen. All she kept saying was, "You've changed. You're cruel now." That was the first punch in the gut. The second came a week later. Dad showed up at my house, unannounced, banging on the door like he was the damn police. I opened it, and he just stood there, fists clenched, face red. "You think you're better than us now?" he barked. I stayed calm. "Dad, you've been lied to for years. Open your eyes." He got right in my face. "You're tearing this family apart. Not Leah. You." I could have argued. Could have screamed right back. But looking at him, seeing the hate in his eyes. Hate aimed at me. Not Leah. I knew there was no fixing this. No words could undo the years of brainwashing. He left without even stepping inside. Slammed the door so hard behind him the frame shook. That night, my wife found me sitting on the couch in the dark. I must have looked broken because she didn't say anything. Just sat next to me, silent. I finally muttered, "They're never going to believe me, are they?" She just squeezed my hand. Didn't have to say anything. I already knew the answer. But Leah wasn't done yet. No, she went for the kill. A few days later, I got a call from my boss. HR wanted to meet. Apparently, someone had filed an anonymous complaint accusing me of harassment and emotional abuse against a family member. Guess who? Leah knew exactly where to hit. She didn't just want to turn my parents against me. She wanted to destroy my entire life. My career, my reputation, everything. And the worst part? It almost worked. HR wasn't playing around. They pulled me into a conference room, stiff smiles, formal faces, a notepad already waiting in front of them. "Jordan, there have been serious allegations made against you by a family member," my manager said, voice flat. "We're required to investigate." I asked to see the complaint. They wouldn't show it. Confidential. I asked who filed it. They wouldn't say. Anonymous. But come on. I wasn't an idiot. I knew exactly who it was. Leah didn't just throw me under the bus. She drove it herself. They questioned me for an hour. Had I ever verbally abused someone? Had I ever intimidated a family member? Was I struggling with anger issues outside of work? It didn't matter how clean my record was. It didn't matter how many awards and good reviews I had. That accusation hung over me like a guillotine. After the meeting, I sat in my car for a long time. Didn't even start the engine. Just stare at my hands on the wheel, thinking, how the hell did it get this far? I should have seen it coming. I should have known Leah wouldn't just sit quietly after I exposed her. But still, trying to take away the life I built, the career I fought tooth and nail for, that was a whole new level of evil. When I got home, my wife was waiting. One look at me, and she knew. "They're trying to ruin you," she said quietly. "Yeah," I said, "and they might succeed." That night, I didn't sleep. I didn't eat. I just sat there thinking about every goddamn birthday party I spent waiting, every hospital visit I paid for Leah, every time I defended her to friends who said she was manipulative. I realized something brutal but true. This wasn't about healing. It wasn't about family. It was war now. And if Leah wanted war, she was going to get it. I hired a lawyer the next morning. Not cheap, but I didn't care. I wasn't about to lose everything because of her lies. My lawyer moved fast, sent official requests to HR, dug into the anonymous complaint, pulled Leah's history, social media posts, public behavior. You want to know the first thing he found? The same day Leah filed that complaint against me, she posted a picture on Instagram, smiling with friends at a music festival, holding up a drink, caption, "Best day ever." Meanwhile, according to her report, she was living in fear of me. Liar. Fake. Manipulator. My lawyer smiled when he showed me the screenshots. "She's sloppy," he said. "We can crush this." And for the first time in months, I felt something burning in my chest again. Hope. Anger. Determination. Leah wanted to fight? Fine. I was done playing nice. My lawyer didn't waste a second. He compiled everything. The screenshots, the festival posts, even some old emails Leah sent me where she bragged about manipulating people. We didn't just submit it to HR. We dropped it on them like a damn bomb. 2 days later, I got the call. "Jordan, we're closing the investigation. No further action will be taken." Translation: "We see through her bullshit now. You're safe." The relief hit me so hard I had to sit down. Months of stress, paranoia, sleepless nights, wiped out in one call. But I wasn't finished. Not by a long shot. See, Leah thought she could nuke my life and just move on like nothing happened. Party it up. Keep soaking up the family's sympathy while painting me as the villain. No way. Not anymore. I took everything my lawyer gathered, the texts, the fake complaints, the proof she lied for years, and sent it straight to my parents. No dramatic phone calls. No emotional pleas. Just a cold, brutal email titled, "The Truth About Leah." Then I turned off my phone. I wasn't going to sit around waiting for another guilt trip voicemail. A few days passed. Silence. Then one night, around midnight, my doorbell rang. It was my dad. He looked wrecked, eyes bloodshot, face pale, like he hadn't slept in days. He held a crumpled printout of the email I sent. His hands were shaking. "Is it true?" he asked, voice barely above a whisper. I didn't say anything, just looked him dead in the eye. He crumpled onto the steps, head in his hands, just sat there, breathing like he was drowning. All these years, he kept mumbling. All those nights, all those hospitals. I didn't feel satisfaction watching him fall apart. I didn't feel revenge. I just felt empty, because no matter what happened next, no matter how much truth came out, the damage was done. Finally, he stood up. "I'm sorry, Jordan," he said, tears streaming down his face. "I'm so sorry we didn't see it. It didn't fix anything. It didn't erase the years I spent alone. But damn if it didn't feel like ripping a weight off my chest." He left without asking to come inside. And you know what? I didn't invite him in, not because I hated him, but because some things, once broken, can't just be glued back together. Later that night, Mom called too. I didn't pick up. I needed time. But Leah wasn't done. She had one last move left. One final, desperate play to try and save herself. And trust me, Reddit, it was the ugliest one yet. I should have known Leah wouldn't just disappear quietly. It wasn't her style. 2 weeks after my dad showed up at my door, I got an invite to a family intervention. At first, I laughed. Intervention? For what? For telling the truth? But then I saw who was organizing it. Leah. She rounded up relatives from both sides of the family, even people I hadn't seen since high school. Sent everyone the same story. Jordan's having a mental breakdown. He needs help. She tried to flip the whole damn narrative. Made me look like the unstable one, the dangerous one, and almost worked. For a second, standing there in a rented church basement, with everyone staring at me like I was some kind of monster, it almost worked. Leah stood at the front, fake tears in her eyes, giving some Oscar-worthy performance about family and healing and forgiveness. She spun every single thing back onto me. Every hurt, every missed moment, every broken relationship, my fault now. I didn't even argue. I didn't raise my voice. I just pulled out a manila envelope, thick with printed screenshots, timelines, evidence. And I laid it down on the table in front of everyone. "Before you crucify me," I said, "read it." Then I turned around and left. Didn't wait for their reactions. Didn't stay to defend myself. I was done playing defense in a game rigged from the start. A week later, the fallout hit. Cousins started calling, apologizing. Old aunts and uncles sent messages admitting they had no idea. Even my own mother, the same woman who once worshipped Leah's every fake tear, showed up at my house, sobbing, begging me to give her another chance. But I couldn't. Not fully. I didn't do it out of anger. I did it because healing doesn't happen when you reopen wounds that never healed right in the first place. I moved cities 6 months later. New job, new apartment, new start. Leah? Last I heard, she burned through every bridge she had left. No one buys her stories anymore. She's just a name people whisper about when they think no one's listening. And me? I finally got my peace. It cost me everything I thought I needed, but it gave me something way better. Freedom.